We're glad to have you back. This is Butch with Know Your Gun Rights. And as always, to my left is LC.
I'm not left. I'm really right. But hi, Butch.
And across from me, the flip switcher or switch flipper or whatever.
Watch it, it'll cut your mic off.
we got Nick.
What's happening?
Same old stuff. Same old stuff.
No,
Actually, it's not the same old stuff.
I was going to say, yeah, we got new material here.
We've got some pretty good stuff, actually.
With this government, we're always got a new and wonderful show.
We've got 2 or 3 really serious issues we're going to get into today, but also have a couple of issues that's been pretty predominant to a lot of people, and it's been talked about a lot, and we want to straighten some of it out. We want to get it straight. The rumor control on the deal with the IRS, back taxes.
Yeah.
You know, if you owe...
supposedly the bill is that if you owe over 50... No, it's not if you owe. If they allege that you owe over $50,000 in back taxes,
correct,
they can take your passport, they can take your gun permit, they can take your guns, and all without any criminal investigation or proof.
Well, and that's got a lot of people talking, a lot of people upset. Well, it's El Toro Poo-Poo.
Oh, okay.
Not the, I think they are working on something about your passports, but as far as the gun part goes, that's not true. It's not true at all. In fact, what is in this bill, it's Bill 1813, by the way. What is in this thing, it says about the only place that firearms are mentioned at all is...
Well, it's a transportation bill.
Exactly. It's a transportation bill. And it talks about the only place that is mentioned is hazardous material transportation. Well, this is completely ruled out, firearms. And in fact, if anything, this is good for us, because it says that firearms and ammunition is not hazardous materials.
Okay.
So there was some question about that, and some of the local governments and stuff were using that for their transportation. Well, this is right out of NRA ILA.
Okay. Yeah, this is one of the things I'm finding. We got to be real careful of different things that we read because some of them are just off the wall. They sound right, but they're not. And I know I spent a lot of time trying to track it down to original sources, and sometimes I can't even find original sources. So, well,
I've been working on this for a week because when I heard about that, as I might owe taxes. I don't know, but as far as my passport goes, I ain't got the money to go anywhere, so the passport doesn't come into real big play with me. And if I wanted to leave the country, I probably wouldn't use the passport anyway. So that didn't bother me. When they're talking about coming after your guns, then that got me fired up and got to looking. Like I said, it's taken me a week to find this, but it is fact. This is the way it is. They're not going to come after your guns. They're not going to come after your permit.
Well, under this bill, they're not.
Under this bill. Well, it's just
they're still going to throw you in federal prison for tax evasion.
Well, they might do that, but they're not going to take your guns away from you until you go to federal prison. This is a good thing. This had a lot of people upset, including me. Mm-hmm. But it is not true. It was a rumor that got twisted around, and like you said, we know how the left exaggerates and twists stuff and blows it all out of proportion. Well, unfortunately, there might be some people on the right that do the same thing.
Yeah, and the thing is, when I hope everybody listening in, when we start talking about something, some issue, it strikes a chord with you, don't just automatically take our word for it. Research it yourself so you know what we're talking about. And if you ever find that we don't have the facts right, give us a call, because we want to correct it on the air, because we want to be sure what we're saying is good information that you can use in your debates, in just being forewarned of what's coming up and happening.
We work really hard on this, and this is no kidding. We work really hard to dig the stuff up, find it, and before we say anything on air, it's usually researched pretty heavily. And unless we can check it three different directions. We generally
and usually we don't even talk about something unless you found it independently and I found it independently, and it both jives together.
And then we start looking, a little bit further. I digress too. If you've got something to add, please
give us a call.
It's important.
Speaking of calling us,
it's important that you give us a call. We want to hear what you've got to say. This is a call-in show. Yes, sometimes we do have to. What do you want to call it? Censor? I hate using that word. Sometimes we have to
suffer bozos and call up.
We have to censor some of our calls. But if you've got a legitimate question or complaint,
or just comments to make, to add to the discussion.
Just feel like we're sitting around the barbershop or the gun shop talking now. We're all buds. But give us a call. It's 407-774-0810. What you have to say really does mean something to us. And there's one other thing real quick, too, that I want to touch on that I think is kind of neat. In New Hampshire, they have a...
Hamster? That's a little furry animal.
Little furry animal.
Sorry, go ahead.
The House Bill 536. What it is it's already passed through their, through the committee, Judiciary Committee. It was passed there, and it was passed through the State House. Pretty good, too, where New Hampshire might add the list of you no longer have to have a concealed weapons permit to carry a concealed weapon in New Hampshire.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Which is going to add to, I think it's 4 states now: Alaska, Vermont, one of the Midwestern states.
Yeah. I've gone blank.
I'm gone blank. Senior moment. But it looks like it's set for the Senate. If it goes through the Senate, the governor's already said that there would be no problem with him signing it, and it goes before the Senate on May 2nd. So New Hampshire may be added to that list. Now, they'll still have their concealed weapons permits.
Right, because you need one to go to other states.
Reciprocity.
Mm-hmm.
And it has no bearing on that anywhere. Nothing changes whatsoever about that. But if you've got a New Hampshire driver's license, you live in New Hampshire, you have every right to pack in that state.
And I'm sure they're all listening to us at this moment.
Oh, I had a bunch of people from New Hampshire call New Hampshire this morning. But it's a pretty neat thing, and it's.
Well, did at one time Florida consider that?
It was considered. Well, I don't know if that was considered, but it was the open carry thing that they were talking about doing again.
Okay.
And I have my reservations about that, but. Because we had open carry in Florida before
we got the concealed permit.
Before we got this.
Yeah. Well, the concealed permit's working very well, particularly the emphasis on people getting trained and passing background checks. That it's an issue, and this is kind of disconcerting somewhat. But the concealed permit holders and the gun people there, actually, from what I've seen of the statistical data, they are better trained in shooting and in firearm handling and safety than most of our law enforcement officers.
I hate to say this, and this is not a slam on the law enforcement community by any means, so don't take it this way. But most of the law enforcement, now we have some guys that are law enforcement that are real well trained. I shot in a match yesterday, and there was 4 police officers shooting in that match, and I don't ever want to have to go up against them on the street. They take this on themselves, but they're having to do this individually. Budget cuts have gotten so huge. There's so little money now that training has gone down for police officers to where it's criminal. How they have cut the training budgets for our law enforcement. Let's face it, the law enforcement, they're out there for a specific reason. They carry guns for a specific reason. And they make a big deal out of being an over-the-road truck driver, how much training you have to have. You would think they would give that much consideration to a law enforcement officer that's carrying a weapon. Give him the money to train with. Give him the money to go to the range on a regular basis and shoot and practice. We have said this 1,000 times. Training, practice. That's the single most important thing that you can have as far as firearms go, period. Education is so important, and they're taking the people that need the education, that need this training, that need this continuous training, and they've taken the money away from them.
Well, I mean,
they don't get to.
In the grand scheme of things, if everything goes down like we think it's going to, and they're going to start confiscating our guns and blah, 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 do we want them trained? I don't.
Well, the thing is, right now, they need the training. They need to be able to be there so that people can depend on the fact that they are qualified to handle a gun, and they won't just be shooting haphazardly all around.
They're the first line of defense.
They're the first line of defense. And if people cannot trust them to have the training and responsibility to be, how do you say it, just to be able to handle the guns in criminal activity circumstances to protect the individual citizens, then the citizens will not trust the police anymore, and the citizens will start having to take the law into their own hands because the police will not be capable of doing that. That's why the police have to have this training.
Are there any studies on back in the time when it was open carry as opposed to now that it's concealed carry about what kind of crime rate there was, or what's the difference? Is it better, worse, or same? Why did they call for the concealed carry when it was already open carry? I don't understand the benefit of that.
It doesn't freak the general public out as much when you're walking down the road with a big old hog leg on your hip, I guess. The only thing that I can think of.
Yeah, they were always talking about the guns and the gun racks in the back of your truck when people were getting scared of seeing that, particularly people that had never hunted, and you get more into the urban areas where people don't know what a gun looks like other than on movies. I like
the concealed thing better personally. Nick, did you say we've got somebody on the line?
Yes, sir. There's somebody that has a question about Taurus.
Okay,
firearms.
All right, a gun question.
Yeah, welcome to the show, bud. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You there?
Hey, how you doing? This is Mike. I was wondering if you guys have any experience with the Taurus TT-738, the Pocket 380.
I have seen the guns and I've shot them briefly. I've shot them on several different occasions, and the little bit of personal experience I've had with the gun, I had no problem with it. It's I will say it runs with the genre of the gun, the little small pocket gun, especially in three. They're pretty snappy, and you do have to. I mean, they're a handful to shoot, I guess is what I'm saying, and you have to take the same precautions with that weapon that you do any other of the little bitty guns, as far as controlled, so that you don't have the stovepipe in and that stuff like that.
That's the problem. I've got one, and I'm experiencing stovepiping with it. And I'm also experiencing, you load the magazine, you insert it, you hit the slide release, and the round goes to the ramp of the barrel, and it stops. You have to bump the slide to get the round chambered. And I've sent it back to Taurus 2 different times. They ended up sending me another firearm. I got that when... took it out of the box, did the same thing, loaded the magazine, hit the slide release in there. I'd be darned if the round didn't stop at the barrel the same way. And I'm really frustrated with this darn thing.
Well, what you've got is 2 classic problems. With a semi-automatic, with a semi or self-loading automatic, there's a little procedure called a throat and ramping of the gun, and that's where the feed ramp in the barrel is re-angled slightly, and it's polished, and it's open, and then the throating is opening up of the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guns that has to be done too to make it more dependable. I've got a lot of semi-automatics, and the first thing I do to them is I do throat and wrap. Not to say that you need to try that, because that is something should be done by a professional. There's a lot of good gunsmiths in this town that are perfectly capable of doing it, and I do strongly suggest having that done.
Well, once I do that, though, my warranty with Taurus is gone, right?
Yeah, but you got a gun that'll work.
Correct. You're right there.
The dependent.
Now, I do have a second barrel. They sent me a second barrel. Unbelievable. He mails the barrel to me, and as soon as I get it, I take it out of the package, and there is a gouge down the right side of the ramp. I couldn't believe it. It's like somebody was machining it, and the tool went right down the side of the ramp and put a gouge in it.
That's the reason they sent it to you. They couldn't use it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure it was probably a reject.
It's still probably something that could be worked with. That's the reason some guns are very ammo sensitive.
Right.
Like one of the main.
This is Winchester hollow point that I use.
Well, the hollow points are way, way, way more sensitive to loading.
Okay.
A ball ammo, if it was loaded with like in the 380, say 95 grain ball,
right,
it would probably load way better. And the hollow point, of course, is a blunt end and it's a sharp edge, and that digs into your feed ramp. That's the reason the throating and ramping comes into place. Like I said, there's a lot of qualified gunsmiths in this town
right,
who could do that I feel 99% sure that could take care of that situation. Now, the second situation you had about stovepiping.
Yeah, and that was with ball ammo at the range.
That has nothing to do with the ammunition. 95% of the time, that's the reason I said that small handguns are very snappy. They're hard to control.
Right.
If that gun moves in your hand, if it flips in your hand, that's where most stovepiping comes from, is where the gun actually catches the brass before it's completely ejected from the ejection chamber.
Right.
So I hate to tell you this, but most of that's going to be your technique in shooting. You need to take I don't know what kind of formal training you had, if you've had any training whatsoever.
30 years of law enforcement.
30 years of law enforcement. It's mostly in the grip and controllability of the firearm. Listen, Bud, I hate to cut you short, but we're up against the wall. Thanks for calling in. We appreciate it, brother.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And we will be back in about 3 minutes.
Wholesale.com. Call Jason at 1-877-5-KNIVES. Authentic law enforcement and tactical knives of all shapes and sizes at Knives, 4Wholesale.com. Self-defense knives, swords, BB guns, and airsoft at Knives, 4Wholesale.com. Huge line of personal protection devices. Sign up as a dealer of stun guns, tasers, pepper sprays, self-defense key rings, and more. Don't be a victim. Go to the website Knives, 4Wholesale.com. Visit us on our showroom, open to the public, at Narcousie and Lee Vista, 6923 Narcousie Road. A better America through mass firepower. 407-679-0329 is OrlandoGunVault.com. Located in Winter Park, 2131 West Fairbanks Avenue. We carry the best in small arms, including Glock, Ruger, Caltrac, Springfield, Smith & Wesson. We have the best prices in town on all major manufacturers. 407-679-0329. Come get your concealed weapons permit for only $50 in advance, $60 day of class. No need to go anywhere else, because Orlando Gun Vault has just what you're looking for. 407-679-0329. OrlandoGunVault.com. 2131 West Fairbanks Avenue, Winter Park, Florida. 32789. A better America through mass firepower. OrlandoGunVault.com.
At East Coast Bullets, we're all about ammo. East Coast Bullets sells ammo for the competitive shooter as well as the blinkers and home defenders. East Coast Bullets, located at 6955 Hanging Moss Road in Orlando, has been serving Central Florida for years. We will make any reload orders at no additional charge. East Coast Bullets carries 3 lines of ammo: Competition Series, Street Series, and our Target Series. East Coast Bullets carries a full line of gunpowder, primers, and bullets. East Coast Bullets also sells Dillon, Leap, Hornady, and RCBS presses and products. We offer free reloading classes with the purchase of any reloading press. East Coast Bullets offers CCW classes as well. Call us today at 321-377-3485. Our store hours are Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. We shoot on Saturday, so we'll see you at the range.
We hope that you never have an insurance loss due to flood, fire, or windstorm damage, but if you do, Restore Assurance Services, LLC, is our preferred insurance contractor. Restore Assurance Services can help you mitigate the loss and restore your property to its pre-loss condition. Restore Assurance Services is a full-service general contractor licensed in the state of Florida. They pride themselves on the fact that all of their employees have extensive experience in both the construction and insurance industries. Restore Assurance Services bridges the gap between claim and construction. They'll guide you through the loss recovery process from a platform of advocacy, knowledge, and experience, understanding that restoration means more than just replacement. The claim process is complex. Knowledge and communication are the most important things after sustaining a loss and during the claim process. Without your understanding or advocate, a claim may be disqualified or undervalued. Sustaining a loss is difficult. Getting it fixed shouldn't be. The key to a successful recovery is working with a reputable contractor who understands the claim process and focuses on the goal of total restoration. When I found myself with an insurance loss, I turned to Restore Assurance Services to help me restore my home.
If you're looking for the friendliest full-service range in Central Florida, you owe it to yourself to visit East Orange Shooting, 3/4 of a mile south of University Boulevard, just off of Forsyth Road on Gardner Street. Open 7 days a week. East Orange Shooting Sports features 18 indoor lanes for rifles, handguns, and shotguns. We also have a complete pro shop with ammunition, holsters, cleaning supplies, and more. East Orange Shooting Sports can also custom order anything you might need at no extra charge. East Orange Shooting Sports, 3/4 of a mile south of University Boulevard, just off of Forsyth Road on Gardner Street. Find us on Facebook and call us at 407-679-1995.
Welcome back. Okay, again, if you have something to add to the show or any questions, even if it's not exactly what we're talking about, and you have problems with your Taurus, give us a call. It's 407-774-0810. But that call a minute ago does say a lot about what we talk about is training. A lot of the training, just the basic building blocks is what will stop a lot of the problems.
And particularly, you have to retrain with each individual gun, particularly when you go to something small as a 380.
Well, the little pocket guns, they're a handful. They're not. They're a handful. You've got to do all the right things to make them work properly. Okay, I've got a couple of issues here that I'm really upset about. And I hope you are too. And the first one we're going to get into is right here in our own home state.
Dum, dum, dum. Scott!
In the... Who?
Governor Scott.
Well, he has something to do with it, yeah. The city of Tampa is asking, when we have the GOP conventions here, they are asking our illustrious governor to suspend all rights of concealed carry permit holders in the Tampa Bay area during the conventions.
They're going to suspend the First Amendment also?
Oh, they already have. The
Oh.
First Amendment's already been suspended.
Yeah.
We've accepted that. People have stepped back and let them have the no-speech zones within 5 miles of where it's going on. So we've already accepted that. We've lost our First Amendment, and we've lost it ourselves. We didn't do anything about it. We sat back on our keisters, so it's gone. So any minute this show could be shut down too. But we've lost our First Amendment rights. But now they're trying to take the Second Amendment rights. They're suspending our weapons permits during the GOP National Convention in Tampa.
And this is something that if who is asking? Is it the city?
The city, the city executives, not just the city executives. I think it's also being pushed a little bit by some of the by the GOP also.
Oh, good grief.
That makes no sense on so many levels because it's a GOP, it's a Republican pro-gun rally, whatever. And the people that have a permit are pro-gun and legal. They're going to assassinate their only representative that's going to keep their amendment in order.
That's kind of what I thought too. And then if they're going to do something like that, they ought to say the criminals can't bring their guns.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I think they should make the criminals turn all their guns in first.
Yeah, and if the criminals turn all theirs in,
yeah,
I'll turn mine in too.
Yeah,
I mean, I won't carry it during that time because let's face it, carrying a gun is heavy. It sticks in your side. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do. So I just soon leave it at home during that period, as long as I know the criminals don't have one.
That's right. That's easy to do. I mean. Oh, shoot. The progressives, and particularly in the GOP, they say, if you just be nice and disarm, all the criminals will be nice and go home. least that's what they thought they were doing in England and Australia until all the
you know,
criminals armed up. And
I quit doing drugs a long time ago, but I'd like to have some of the drugs some of these people are taking now.
Oh, you can see these people in the newspaper all the time sending in their little opinion piece, and they say the only problem is all these guns out there. We just need to have everybody turn in their guns, and all will be happy and tranquil, and we'll be in utopia.
Right.
And because people,
nobody will be stabbed, nobody will be beat with a hammer or a baseball bat, or
yeah.
So
what's the GOP going to do here? I mean, I've looked at some statistics, and out of the GOP donors, 40% of them aren't even registered to vote. Now, explain that one to me.
I can't.
I mean,
one thing I didn't know that till you just said it, so I didn't have time to do nothing with it.
Okay, this is a segue. Everybody that owns a gun, if you're not registered to vote, get off your butt and go get registered right now, because you cannot procrastinate.
and you might lose your right to hold a gun.
Yeah.
It is imperative. We've talked about this over and over and over and over again, and we're going to say it one more time. The strongest, the best weapon that you have is that little card that you carry in your pocket that calls voter's registration. It's the only thing that separates us from Nazi Germany. It's just the vote is important. If you don't vote, you have no right to say it. In fact, if you don't vote, you don't have any right to call yourself a citizen either.
Well, if you don't vote, you're going to lose all your rights, period.
And you won't be a citizen
take them away.
You'll no longer be a citizen. You will be a
Subject.
gulag resident.
Yes, you'll be a subject.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's the only difference it is between subjects and citizens.
That's right.
As a citizen, we still have something to say. As a subject, you don't. And we're that close to that situation right now. But they are. So the point I'm getting to, tomorrow morning, about 8:30 in the morning, start your emails and your phone calls to Governor Scott's office and tell him that don't pull an Obama and start doing executive orders on every little thing that you feel like doing.
That's right. And particularly when you're talking about infringing on a Second Amendment right of the people to defend themselves.
He has been very strong in his support of the Constitution and the Second Amendment since he's been in Tallahassee.
Mm-hmm. So be nice when you write your letter, but just be very firm that you stand on the Second Amendment. You stand with our right to carry arms and for personal protection, and we ask him to uphold those rights during this convention.
Now, this would be, I hope everybody can understand the importance of this. This would be it would set a precedence that has never, ever been done in this country before. Never.
That's exactly right.
And
Obama would love, he's already put the language in place in his executive order to declare martial law under a non-emergency situation.
So if the state that is really at the pinnacle of gun rights, Florida is, we're very, very fortunate to be residents of this state because we have been on the cutting edge of gun rights for a long time. I mean, we were the first, as that one heifer, whatever that bimbo's name was that did the article about Florida was the guinea pig for the NRA, getting stuff through because the citizens of Florida were too stupid to know any better. We have been on the cutting edge, and it's not because of stupidity, it's because of intelligence.
And it's because we knew our constitutional rights and we knew what the Second Amendment stands for, and we still know that.
And we are not the state that needs to be the first state to set a precedence on suspending our constitutional rights and the stuff that we have worked so hard for the last 35 years to get and to be the leading edge of this whole debacle. We do not need to be the ones to say, okay, we'll turn our guns in.
Yeah, suspend our rights. It's all right. No big deal.
That can't happen, people. It cannot happen. Call, write, email, smoke signals.
Yeah, and send it to your representative to Tallahassee, if you know who it is. that's something people better be finding out pretty quick is who's your representative, because if they don't know how you believe, they're going to go with whoever the wind blows in the right way to give them more power. And you got to be the one that shows them that you have the power. You've got the vote.
Let your representative know it, and let Governor Scott know it. And like you said, like LC just said, let them know. You can start your letter out by, I am a voter in the state of Florida. I'm in district whatever, and I can't wait until November. So anyway, well, listen, we up against the wall again. We got to go do something to pay for this show. So we'll be back in about 3 minutes.
Better America through Mass Firepower. 407-679-0329 is OrlandoGunVault.com. Located in Winter Park, 2131 West Fairbanks Avenue. We carry the best in small arms, including Glock, Ruger, Caltrac, Springfield, Smith & Wesson. We have the best prices in town on all major manufacturers. 407-679-0329. Come get your concealed weapons permit for only $50 in advance, $60 day of class. No need to go anywhere else because Orlando Gun Vault has just what you're looking for. 407-679-0329. OrlandoGunVault.com. 2131 West Fairbanks Avenue, Winter Park, Florida. 32789. A better America through Mass Firepower. OrlandoGunVault.com.
If you're looking for the friendliest full-service range in Central Florida, you owe it to yourself to visit East Orange Shooting, 3/4 of a mile south of University Boulevard, just off of Forsyth Road on Gardner Street. Open 7 days a week. East Orange Shooting Sports features 18 indoor lanes for rifles, handguns, and shotguns. We also have a complete pro shop with ammunition, holsters, cleaning supplies, and more. East Orange Shooting Sports can also custom order anything you might need at no extra charge. East Orange Shooting Sports, 3/4 of a mile south of University Boulevard, just off of Forsyth Road on Gardner Street. Find us on Facebook and call us at 407-679-1995.
At East Coast Bullets, we're all about ammo. East Coast Bullets sells ammo for the competitive shooter as well as the blinkers and home defenders. East Coast Bullets, located at 6955 Hanging Moss Road in Orlando, has been serving Central Florida for years. We will make any reload orders at no additional charge. East Coast Bullets carries 3 lines of ammo: Competition Series, Street Series, and our Target Series. East Coast Bullets carries a full line of gunpowder, primers, and bullets. East Coast Bullets also sells Dillon, Lee, Hornady, and RCBS presses and products. We offer free reloading classes with the purchase of any reloading press. East Coast Bullets offers CCW classes as well. Call us today at 321-377-3485. Our store hours are Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. We shoot on Saturday, so we'll see you at the range.
Welcome back.
You want me to sing?
Huh?
You want me to sing?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I've got something that's important to talk about. Rust Assurance Services. They've been one of our sponsors since day one, since the very beginning. And we know what they normally do, but there's a new, it's not a new part to it, it's something else that they do. And they have a roofing division. And they've had this roofing division for 14 years. These people know what they're doing. And the way they got involved in this in the first place is kind of a backdoor thing. Insurance companies are notifying you and saying, hey, your roof's 15 years old.
But didn't the Obama administration say that they had to do it no matter what? I'm sorry. Go ahead with the commercial.
I don't know. But anyway. And what they're actually doing is they're pressuring people for the new roofs and stuff like that. Let you put a new roof on your house so they won't have to. And if you don't get it done or don't take care of it in 30 days or so, they're canceling your insurance.
Yeah.
And
they're notorious for that in Florida.
Pardon me?
They're notorious for doing that in Florida.
They are notorious for that in Florida. That's the reason we can't let this happen. Well, our friends, Mike and all the boys over at Rust Assurance, they can take care of that for you. They can come in, put a roof on your house, and do it right, and take care of that little problem. But you say, wait, the economy bites right now. I have no money for a roof. That's where they really come in. They can take care of financing, 0 money down for 84 months. And, I mean, they can get your payments down as low as $150, $160 a month for your new roof. And and I know myself, I could not afford a new roof if it wasn't for Rest Assurance. They're taking care of setting me up. I'm going to get a new roof on the house, and believe me, I need a new roof. And they're going to get it set up. So if you have a roof problem, especially we're coming into the hurricane season, we're coming into the rainy season, it's going to get wet, and if you want to keep the wet outside and stay dry on the inside, you really need to give them a call. Their phone number is 407-401-9599. That's 407-401-9599. And they can take care of they know what they're doing. Their Florida license number is CCC 1329220. But anyway, you give them a call. They can go a long ways for making your life a lot simpler and a lot drier. Okay, back to more fun stuff.
Another Taurus gun review?
No, don't have a. I do have a product review we're going to do later in the show.
Okay,
but it's not a gun this week.
Oh,
it's something new I found. But you just have to sit on the edge of your seat and wait for my new product review and think of what it might be.
I have to because my mic won't reach far enough for me to lean back here.
Okay, this is. Probably shouldn't even be talking about it because it really doesn't have anything to do with your gun rights.
Well, it's something that was kind of scary at first, and I know I looked at it and thought, oh, my gosh, what's going on? And but then after we sat down and talked about it, and particularly Nick brought up some other things of training, military training, and those aspects. So tell the folks what we're looking at.
I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but there is a joint military training exercise set up out in, I think it's Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, it's in Colorado.
Let's see. Wait a second. I want to get this right. Fort Carson, Colorado. And it's between U.S. troops and Russian troops.
Yeah, Russians.
Russian troops.
On our U.S. soil.
In Colorado. Well, Colorado is part, yeah. U.S. soil.
You get out of Denver, it's the Wild West.
It's kind of on the surface, it's kind of a scary thought. We're training with, it's common knowledge. We've trained with other militaries since for a long, long time, since it's been where we could, even when I was in the service, I trained with British soldiers and Australian soldiers. Never did train with any communist bloc soldiers, but we were kind of training against them, if you want to know the truth about it. But we have been training with us, so it's pretty common. But it was a big rumor, and the first I heard about it was on the front page of a Chinese newspaper. It was nothing said over here. And I've been digging and digging and digging, and more started coming up. Well, it's actually been confirmed by the DOD.
Yeah.
That's Department of Defense. This is going down. It is happening.
But this is one of those circumstances that got blown all out of proportion, I think, here, of what we're doing.
Is what, I'm sorry?
Got blown out of proportion?
Well, it has gotten blown out of proportion to a certain degree. Russia is now relatively a democratic country. It's kind of sort of.
As far as communists can be.
As far as communists can be. And, doing some cross-training with some of these people, And
it's not very many, is it?
It's only 20 of their elite. Okay. It is their airborne elite. It's their Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, Special Forces, Delta Force, all combined into one. It's the baddest they got. But
this is for terrorist training, right?
Well,
it sounds like they're the instructors.
Exactly. That's what it's looking like now. When I first heard about it, it's going, oh, they're going to come over here and we're going to be training. We're going to be teaching them. And everybody talks about foreign troops on U.S. soil. It's a bad thing. It scares everybody. Well, I have to agree with Nick on this one. It sounds like they may be coming over because, let's face it, there is no country in the world that knows how to run a police state better than Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, they wrote the book on it, the modern book. I guess there's people in history in the past that might have been a little more active in it, but if for the modern book, they've pretty much written this.
And they've had to address it quite a bit, particularly in Georgia, not our state of Georgia, but their Republic of Georgia or whatever that is over there, where they have had to address this and address massive terrorist attacks on schools and everything else there.
They're pros at that, and sending the small contingent that's coming over, the 20 guys that's coming over. And it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and they're all going to go out to a baseball game, right?
Yeah, they're going to go watch a baseball game.
Baseball and hot dogs.
And how much more American can you get that?
And they'll get green cards too, won't they?
They probably won't need one. But it was just something I wanted to throw in. I guess part of my own little homegrown conspiracy theorist. I don't know what you want to call it, but it was something that.
Well, it's not the Russians we have to worry about; it's the UN.
Amen to that. But amen. Listen, I got somebody on the phone. What's that? Gary? Hello, Gary. You there?
Yeah. Hey, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead, sir. How can we assist you today?
Okay. Hey, I like sitting out back plunking. Then one neighbor's on one side. They got 25 acres. We got a swimming pool with some kids, and on the other side they got 10 acres. And same thing. They got some kids. But I go out here plunking with my 22, and I didn't know what the procedure is for getting the suppressor.
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
We can make this. It's a whole lot better than it used to be.
Okay.
One of the things.
Pardon me? Make one yourself?
No.
You'll lose your gun if you do that.
You start making one yourself, then you'll be spending the next 30 years in a federal prison making other things in the machine shop.
Or have my face blown off.
or something worse.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's actually through the NFA. There's the thing that, and it's a multitude of people doing it. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people are doing it.
Yes.
They're getting NFA trust. And with a trust, it makes it so neat. It's really not a complicated deal to do. There's a lot of attorneys in Orlando that specialize in NFA trust. They do a lot of them. And if you're interested off the air, I can give you some, several names of people that you can call and talk to. They range anywhere from $300 to $400 to set your trust up. But once you set your trust up, it is good for as many NFA items as you would like to have. Oh, yeah, you can buy all the suppressors, short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns. If you got enough money, you can buy a machine gun. Because
I don't need one of them.
But the suppressor, I have 2 suppressed 22s, and they are more fun. It's neat, and like you said, you can sit in an area like you've got. You can shoot all afternoon and not disturb anybody. But it'll cost you the tax transfer of $200 to buy the NFA item, and there's a lot of dealers here in Orlando. The Orlando Gun Vault, East Orange Gun Range. Both stores that advertise on the show here, they are Class 3 dealers. They have the suppressors. The suppressors are not expensive. And both of the stores will be able to help you do all your transfer papers and all that sort of stuff. They make it as easy as possible. Again, the suppressors themselves are not expensive, relatively so. Yeah. And after you have your trust set up, the other way to do it is get the chief law enforcement officer of the area that you're in, which right now would be the sheriff, which would also be Mr. Demings, Sheriff Demings, and I don't think that's going to happen with him.
I'm in Lake County.
Oh, you're in Lake County?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about your sheriff over there, but the trust is easy, clean, simple. Nobody can tell you no, and you can have your products. And it also, once you have bought one NFA item.
Yes.
The second NFA item, should you choose to have 2 suppressors or something else fun to play with,
yes,
it is quicker and simpler and easier.
Oh, okay.
So, like I said, there are several attorneys in the Orange County area that one of them is Ernie Myers, who is he's been on the show before discussing this, talking about this. He's a very, very knowledgeable man. Jeremy, another attorney that's been on the show, does the NFA trust. He's very knowledgeable in that also, and it's just not as hard
Okay.
to get as it used to be, and they're well worth the expense.
Yeah. I mean, once you have it, you can just go there and buy one direct, or you still got to do paperwork. And...
There's still, once you have your trust, there's still the transfer paperwork. You'll go. The way it does is you'll go to your store, and you'll buy your suppressor, and you will pay for it, and then your paperwork will be sent off, and then 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever it takes to get back, it comes back. Then they can transfer that piece, but you have to buy it because the numbers on it have to be entered.
Yeah, the serial numbers are entered.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, but it's a little bit time consuming, but they've made it where it's a lot smoother and a lot easier.
Well, great. What is it? You got to put a bond down? Is that what it is?
No, sir. No, sir. There's no bond at all. It's bought under the trust name, and your attorney could explain it to you a lot better. But there's things. If you buy it your name, say I buy a suppressor, and I pass, I fall over dead, or I shoot myself.
Yeah.
Before this could go to anybody else in my family, it has to go through the whole procedure again. Where with a trust, say you have. I don't know what your situation is, but say you have a son and you want to pass it on to your son.
Oh, yeah, I would. Yeah.
You can make him a trustee of the trust, and guess what? It's done. You fall over dead, it's his.
Yeah.
So it's a really good deal.
I could put it on a gun that he owns now, or no?
You could put it on. You could put it on anything.
Anything I want, as long as it's in my possession.
Correct.
Yeah.
But if he's a trustee, it can be in his possession too.
Oh, well, that'd be great.
Okay.
I can Google those guys, or
I'm sorry.
Do you have a link on your website to these attorneys?
No, sir, I don't. But don't hang up. We've got to go to commercial. I'll give you a phone number. You can call me during the week, and I will hook you up directly with them.
Oh,
okay.
That'd be great. All righty. Appreciate your help.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And we'll be back just a minute.
If you're looking for the friendliest full-service range in Central Florida, you owe it to yourself to visit East Orange Shooting, 3/4 of a mile south of University Boulevard, just off of Forsyth Road on Gardner Street. Open 7 days a week. East Orange Shooting Sports features 18 indoor lanes for rifles, handguns, and shotguns. We also have a complete pro shop with ammunition, holsters, cleaning supplies, and more. East Orange Shooting Sports can also custom order anything you might need at no extra charge. East Orange Shooting Sports, 3/4 of a mile south of University Boulevard, just off of Forsyth Road on Gardner Street. Find us on Facebook and call us at 407-679-1995.
A better America through mass firepower. 407-679-0329 is OrlandoGunVault.com. Located in Winter Park, 2131 West Fairbanks Avenue. We carry the best in small arms, including Glock, Ruger, Caltrac, Springfield, Smith & Wesson. We have the best prices in town on all major manufacturers. 407-679-0329. Come get your concealed weapons permit for only $50 in advance, $60 day of class. No need to go anywhere else because Orlando Gun Vault has just what you're looking for. 407-679-0329. OrlandoGunVault.com. 2131 West Fairbanks Avenue, Winter Park, Florida. 32789. A better America through mass firepower. OrlandoGunVault.com. Knives, the number 4 wholesale.com. Call Jason at 1-877-5-KNIVES. Authentic law enforcement and tactical knives of all shapes and sizes at Knives, the number 4 wholesale.com. Self-defense knives, swords, BB guns, and airsoft at Knives, the number 4 wholesale.com. Huge line of personal protection devices. Sign up as a dealer of stun guns, tasers, pepper sprays, self-defense key rings, and more. Don't be a victim. Go to the website Knives, the number 4 wholesale.com. Visit us on our showroom, open to the public at Narcoossee and Lee Vista, 6923 Narcoossee Road.
Welcome back. Listen, I've got a couple of little short things we have to get into before we get back in the conversation. If you've got a problem in the house, water, mold, you've had fire damage, something along those lines, give our friends over at Dry Time a call. They can come in. If you've had your hot water heater burst and you've got a bedroom full of water, they can come in and suck it up and dry your carpets and take care of it before you get that all dangerous black mold that comes up in Florida so quickly and all. It's really important. They've been doing this for a long time. They know what they're doing. They've got 24-hour emergency call. So anywhere in the Central Florida area, if you've had any sort of leak plumbing problem, or any of those things, give them a call. It's Dry Time USA. Their number is 407-403-5683. Like I said, fire damage, water, mold, they can take care of all of it.
If you got a leaky roof, they can take care of the water damage there, and you can go get your new roof.
Exactly. Then you get your water damage taken care of, and then you call Rest Assurance and get your new roof. You're exactly right. But anyway, give them a call if they can help you. One other new sponsor that we have on the show that saving a special little thing for them here. It's Orlando Arms. They're at 4737 South Orange Avenue in the Fort Gatlin Shopping Center. It's right there at Gatlin and Holden. I've gone by there, spent some time there, and spent some time. They're really neat people. They do everything every other gun shop does. They've got Ruger Smith, Colt, on and on and on and on, and they have a good selections of all the supplies and ammunition, and everything else you'll need. But they really go a little above and beyond. Cody's new in the store. The store is relatively new, and it's one of the friendliest and neatest places you could ever go to. I mean, you can go there, you can sit back. He makes you feel welcome. He's just a good old country boy from Louisiana. He's a very personable man, and you need to go by and see him. They do transfers for $25.
Boy, that's cheap.
Nobody in town is doing that. All kind of special orders. They're going a notch ahead. They're going above what. Well, you can tell he loves what he's doing. He's trying hard.
He's an entrepreneur.
Building
a business.
And go by and tell him I sent you down there. In fact, I'll go one better. I've got his T-shirt on right now. Go by there and tell him you heard the ad, and he'll give you one just like it. And it's really a cool T-shirt.
I was going to say, is he running around half naked?
Well, I didn't say he'd give you the one he had on, but I'm sure he has one there. Go by and check him out. Give him a call. It's 407-240-5900. That's 407-240-5900. Okay, we got one on the line. Steve, you still with us, buddy? Steve?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, I'm sorry. How can we help you, man?
Well, I'm just hoping to get some information. I'm trying to get my daughter and wife into shooting sports more and more.
Good for you.
One thing I know they really enjoy is shooting something full auto. Is there any range around here that rents full auto, a submachine gun or something like that, so they could shoot?
That rents full auto?
Yeah, well, we can't afford to buy one.
I don't. Well, I don't know that. I don't think there is. There was a place over on off of 33rd Street that you could rent full autos. I'm not sure. That's a good question. I don't know, but I promise you this. I will find out, and I will let you know next Sunday.
Okay, I'll be listening.
They were doing it, and it was very popular. People were going in, and, I mean, they were renting the guns for almost no money, because by the time you buy the ammo, they made lots of money. But it was pretty good. I will say there is one other thing, too. At Volusia County Gun and Hunt Club, it's up on 44 in Volusia County, obviously. It's a pretty unique range. It's a superb range. Sean has put together a real good deal up there. And it's the range lends itself pretty heavily to tactical shooting. It's not your average NRA bullseye type range like that. Not that they don't because they do have that too, and they have long range shooting and all that stuff. But he has, I think, 12 or 13 tactical ranges, and from time to time I have been up there where they have machine gun shoots. Now that is one range that you can go to at any time if you do have NFA stuff, and shoot it anytime you want to. If you got a machine gun, machine guns are welcome. It's the only range I know that way within a decent drive, that doesn't take you a day and a half to get there. And it's really a lot of fun. It's a great range. It's a very safe range. He's got the range is laid out very, very well. But also, they have some fundraisers on a pretty regular basis. There's a ton of fun. You go up there, you pay X amount of dollars, and you have a choice of shooting a bunch of machine guns. The last time they did it, I shot an FNFAL, which was a dream for me, and I shot a G3 that I really, really enjoyed shooting. And then they had the standard stuff. They had some Tommy guns and had M16s and, some of the run-of-the-mill, well, nothing machine guns run-of-the-mill, but, some of the more stuff that you're used to.
Yeah.
But they had some really neat stuff, and they do that pretty regular. And I'm not sure, but I think they are planning another one of those in the very near future. I will also get the answer to that and have that for you next Sunday, too. But I'll let you know about the place over on 33rd Street and about Volusia County so you can go out and shoot something that's really a lot of fun.
I appreciate it. My wife said she wanted 2 guns for Christmas, a Benelli and a Dillon minigun. And I don't think I can afford either of those right now. But
I'd like a minigun.
I'd like the mini. I don't have a minigun. I've got a 1919. That's the closest I can get to a minigun. But she sounds like a sport, so keep her.
You got a squared away wife.
Yeah, she sounds like a real sport. You need to hold on to her.
I think I will. Sure.
All right, buddy. We appreciate you calling.
All right, I'll be looking at you guys next week.
Thank you very much, sir. I'll have you some answers, too. Okay, we're not going to do a gun review this week. We've got a product review I want to go over real quick. And I want to touch on with you, the product review, as always, is brought to you by Tomahawk Painting. Grady over there is a good guy. He cares about what he's doing. It's his business. He runs it. He does it all. If you've got a problem, he's the one. The buck stops with him. He will take care of it, and he can do little jobs from painting your utility room, or he can paint your battleship if you got one. I guess. I mean, he can paint anything you've got, and he takes it personal and he looks after it, and he oversees every bit of it, if not the one doing the bulk of the work. Good guy, real good guy, and does very good work, quality work. And I'm telling you this from personal experience. I'm not talking as a gagooch. This is the way it is. Give him a call. It's 321-624-8967. Again, that's 321-624-8967. But give him a call. He can take care of you. Now, to get back to what I wanted to say, because we're running out of time, as always. I can't talk fast enough. The thing that I just got me one the other day, and it's a Outers gun cleaning kit. And it's the coolest thing. It doesn't have a cleaning rod. It's a cable.
Okay, I've seen those advertised.
And you can push them or pull them. It's a quality kit. Everything is brass machined, all the tips. Everything about it is quality. It's really, really neat. And I had an opportunity to put it to a test the other day at the range. Had a stoppage. I was running the gun too long without enough oil, and it was less than stellar as far as clean goes. And I bought this little thing because it all folds up in a little bitty round ball about the size of a baseball. It's not a ball, but it's a little flat thing about the size of a baseball. And I said, let's see how this works. I broke that thing out and did the best cleaning job I've ever done on that rifle. And it just really, really worked. It's inexpensive. The kit that I bought was kind of like the Cadillac kit. It's called the Tactical. I don't know why it's tactical. It ain't green, but or it ain't black. But it'll clean everything from 22 to I think
Does it do shotgun?
Well, I know
12 gauge.
Well, no, it did. It won't take it. It wouldn't handle the shot. It won't handle shotguns.
Okay.
But rifles up to about a 375 bore, and that's with brushes, swabs, everything. But it was it did a beautiful job. Folds right back up, throws in your ammo box, and I stayed on top of it. It was great.
That's amazing.
So
you so seldom clean your guns.
I cleaned it because it quit running. And I picked that up at the Gun Vault, but East Orange sells them. The Gun Vault sells them. I know my buddy at Orlando Arms sells them. It's a great piece for your range bag. Great piece. Listen, again, thank you so very much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. We appreciate the support we've gotten from you. We will see you next week, same time, same channel. Be safe. Shoot straight. Love you.